Beneath the grand facade of Buckingham Palace lies a web of secrets that changed the course of royal history. Queen Elizabeth II's will, read by Prince William, caused a stir both within palace corridors and around the world. It wasn't just about titles or jewels, it was a bold roadmap for the monarchy's future. As family tensions brewed and hidden treasures came to light, an age-old institution faced modern realities. Now, at last, the truth emerges for everyone to see. Prince William's unique role. Prince William's choice as the person to unveil Queen Elizabeth II's will did not happen by chance. While King Charles III is the reigning monarch, William's steady presence and close bond with his grandmother set him apart. Even in the Queen's final days, it appears she saw William as the bridge between centuries of royal tradition and the modern world that now looks at the monarchy through a different lens. From his early years, William was guided by both the Queen and his father, learning the complexities of public duty, state affairs, and the need for genuine empathy toward people's concerns. When the time came to reveal the contents of her will, the Queen's decision to entrust William sent a strong message about continuity and trust. It spoke not only to his standing within the family, but also to his growing role on the world stage. William, known for his calm demeanor and focus on charitable causes, has consistently tried to weave tradition with progress, reflecting how the Queen herself balanced her devotion to age-old customs with an open-minded view of social change. By placing William at the center of the will's reading, the Queen also showed confidence that he could handle any fallout that might emerge. Family tensions, shifting power dynamics, and the public's fascination with every move of the royal family made this responsibility monumental. Yet, William approached it with the demeanor many have come to expect: measured, compassionate, and duty-bound. Through his words and actions, he honored his grandmother's values while also signaling that the monarchy must remain relevant to newer generations. In this sense, William's unique role was about far more than a symbolic gesture. It was a pivotal step in shaping how the royal family is presented to the public and how it upholds its responsibilities. His performance in this moment likely provided a glimpse of what sort of king he could become. One who respects the past, but understands the importance of embracing the present. For many royal watchers, the image of Prince William reading the Queen's final wishes served as a reassuring sign that the monarchy's legacy rests in trusted hands. The will is a blueprint for the monarchy. Queen Elizabeth II was known for her sense of duty, patience, and ability to adapt to changing times. Her will, therefore, was never going to be just a routine legal document listing who gets what. Instead, it acted as a carefully planned roadmap that outlined how the monarchy should move forward in the 21st century. By addressing more than mere possessions, such as jewels, estates, and personal treasures, she set guidelines for how the royal family might preserve its heritage while embracing modern realities. This blueprint quality is especially apparent in how the will recognized both tradition and the future. On one hand, it honored historical practices by maintaining the prominence of certain estates and ensuring the most iconic jewelry remained tied to the core family members. On the other hand, the will's bold decisions, like sharing Balmoral among several family members or distributing heirlooms to a younger generation, hinted that simply doing things the way they always have been done is no longer enough. In fact, Queen Elizabeth II seemed intent on asserting that the monarchy is not just about titles or wealth. It is also about duty, symbolism, and staying connected to the public's changing needs. By carefully choosing who received key heirlooms, artworks, and prized possessions, she expressed her confidence in some individuals to represent the monarchy's values in a new era. It sent a clear message: tradition endures, but renewal must happen to keep the crown relevant. Moreover, the will's stipulations about personal items, like favorite tiaras or paintings, carried emotional weight that underscored the Queen's human side. These thoughtful gestures gave each inheritance a purpose beyond simple material value. In the end, her final act of planning sought to balance the monarchy's storied past with a future that demands growth and open-mindedness. Generational shift. The idea of a generational shift in the royal family isn't new, but Queen Elizabeth II's will accelerated that notion in surprising ways. Throughout her life, the Queen represented stability, continuity, and a sense of comfort for the British public and royal watchers worldwide. Yet, she also understood that no institution can remain stagnant forever. Her final wishes showed she was ready to highlight a newer generation, led by Prince William and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, to carry the monarchy's traditions forward while adapting to modern realities. In the will, one clear sign of this shift was the thoughtful distribution of certain jewels and heirlooms to younger royals, including Princess Charlotte. While it may seem unusual for a child to receive such valuable pieces, the Queen's intentions were strategic. She was looking far beyond the present moment, ensuring the monarchy's symbols of heritage would stay alive for generations to come. This forward-thinking move emphasized the importance of passing down not just material valuables, but also the sense of duty and identity tied to these possessions. Moreover, by having Prince William reveal the contents of the will, she elevated his position as both heir to the throne, after King Charles III, and as the royal family's figurehead for progress. William has long been seen as someone who balances respect for tradition with a willingness to address social issues head-on. His role in reading the will, and thus in shaping its public interpretation, underlined the Queen's faith in his ability to lead with compassion and modern sensibilities. This generational shift did not come without challenges. Tensions within the family, especially regarding those royals who chose a different path, became more evident in how the will's allocations were decided. Yet the Queen did not shy away from addressing these changes. Her final act was to empower those who remained active in fulfilling their royal duties and to pave a clear path for the monarchy's future. Distribution of properties. Queen Elizabeth II's personal properties have always fascinated the public, especially Balmoral Castle and Sandringham Estate. Both are steeped in royal history, family memories, and national intrigue. Her will revealed a surprising approach to handling these grand estates, showing she was as pragmatic in death as she was in life. By dividing and allocating them in ways that broke from tradition, she aimed to keep the family unified while respecting each property's unique heritage. Balmoral, located in the scenic Scottish Highlands, served as a favorite summer retreat for the Queen. Rather than passing it solely to one member of the family, she decided to share it among several. This move hinted that family unity meant more to her than rigid, age-old patterns of inheritance. By dividing the estate among multiple royals, she encouraged collaboration over exclusivity. Instead of causing rifts, Balmoral became a shared asset where the family could come together without tension over ownership. In contrast, Sandringham, another estate dear to the late Queen, was given directly to King Charles III. This decision kept an important property tied to the reigning monarch, preserving royal precedence and tradition. Through this allocation, she reaffirmed Charles's central role, but also left room to elevate others within the family by granting them responsibility for different estates or key possessions. Such decisions extended beyond the castles themselves. The Queen recognized that the value of these properties lay not only in their grandeur, but also in the memories and historic weight they carry. By granting some oversight to younger family members, she subtly suggested the monarchy should remain a shared venture, rather than a single individual's stronghold. Strategic allocation of heirlooms and jewelry. For Queen Elizabeth II, jewelry was never just about glitter and glamour. Each tiara, necklace, and brooch carried meanings tied to history, personal sentiment, and the royal family's public image. When her will was read, its distribution of jewelry reflected a careful strategy designed to preserve her legacy and set the tone for the monarchy's future. Beyond simple inheritance, she wove together tradition and modernity in allocating these priceless heirlooms. One striking aspect of her plan was ensuring that certain iconic pieces, like the lover's knot tiara famously worn by Princess Diana, went to Catherine, the Princess of Wales. This decision served two purposes. It honored Diana's memory, while also positioning Catherine as a central figure in the family. By passing on jewels steeped in sentimental value, the Queen highlighted the continuity between past and present. At the same time, it was a vote of confidence in Catherine's readiness to represent the crown with grace and warmth. Interestingly, the will also named Princess Charlotte as a future recipient of select pieces, shining a light on the importance of nurturing the next generation. Many saw this as a symbolic move, ensuring that the monarchy remains relevant to younger audiences while keeping family traditions alive. This choice introduced excitement about how these pieces would be worn and displayed in the future. adding a layer of intrigue to royal engagements. Yet these decisions did not come without controversy. Some wondered why other members of the family, especially those more distant from the core monarchy, did not receive notable items. The Queen's preferences appeared to reward those who remained committed to public duties and upheld the monarchy's values of service. By linking jewelry distribution to a sense of responsibility, she subtly conveyed an expectation of dedication from those who benefit from royal privilege. Ultimately, the strategic allocation of heirlooms and jewelry in Queen Elizabeth II's will blended heritage, sentiment, and forward thinking. Tiaras and necklaces may sparkle in public appearances, but they also serve as potent reminders of the monarchy's broader story. Through this careful dispersal, the Queen demonstrated not only her respect for tradition, but her readiness to guide the royal family toward modern relevance, ensuring that these jewels sparkle brightly in the eyes of future generations. Focus on personal treasures. While headlines often fixate on castles and crown jewels, Queen Elizabeth II also cherished a wide range of personal treasures that told a more intimate story about her life and reign. These included rare books, private letters, ceremonial garments, and lesser-known artworks that seldom saw the light of day. Such items might not carry the same global notoriety as the crown jewels, yet they were deeply meaningful to her and those closest to her. In her will, the Queen paid special attention to these personal treasures, carefully matching them to family members whose interests and personalities she felt aligned with their significance. For instance, it was rumored that certain handwritten letters and private diaries were left to relatives who share her passion for history or archival preservation. By doing this, she ensured that these documents went beyond collecting dust on a hidden shelf. Instead, they would be actively valued and cared for, giving these family members a more personal connection to the monarchy's story. Some of her lesser-known artworks and family portraits, including paintings rarely displayed to the public, were bequeathed to those with a keen appreciation for art. Beyond monetary value, these canvases captured moments in time, royal gatherings, personal milestones, and the subtleties of family relationships over decades. The Queen's decision to distribute these artworks to different branches of the family also encouraged a sense of shared heritage. No single individual hoarded them. Instead, they became threads weaving generations together. Interestingly, the Queen also made provisions for her beloved personal keepsakes, like gifts from Prince Philip or tokens from her travels, to remain with the royal family in a private capacity. This choice underscored her wish to keep family memories alive in a world often dominated by public scrutiny. Neatly dividing these items ensured that no one branch of the family missed out on the emotional treasure trove that lay at the heart of her everyday experiences. Private wealth and hidden assets. Beyond the dazzling tiaras and famous estates, Queen Elizabeth II quietly built an impressive portfolio of private wealth. By blending inherited resources with shrewd investments, she amassed a variety of assets that went far beyond what was publicly known. While much attention remains focused on official palaces like Buckingham or Windsor, the Queen's personal fortune reflects a side of royal life seldom seen by the public eye. In her will, she addressed the distribution of these hidden treasures, rare art pieces, private land holdings, and carefully managed financial securities that had grown over decades. This sizable fortune was the product of both royal inheritance and the Queen's ability to take advantage of evolving economic landscapes. One example involved discrete property purchases in prime locations, which rose in value over time. Another came from her careful approach to art acquisitions, sometimes focusing on gifted or inherited works from past monarchs. These items were not part of the crown estate, belonging instead to her personal trove. When divvying up this wealth, she showed a keen sense of responsibility toward both the family and the monarchy. Assets were parceled out to ensure that senior members could fund their public duties, while also acknowledging the personal pursuits of younger royals. In some cases, she chose to bequeath portions of her portfolio to charitable trusts she held dear, reflecting her lifelong commitment to public service. This enabled her philanthropic causes to continue benefiting from her legacy long after her passing. Yet some parts of her private wealth sparked intrigue and, at times, jealousy across family lines. Certain members who had maintained a strong distance from the monarchy's day-to-day roles found themselves with minimal allocations. Others who had stayed at the forefront of royal responsibilities were more generously recognized. The Queen, it seems, prioritized those who upheld the monarchy's mission and values. In laying out these hidden assets, Queen Elizabeth II displayed a blend of visionary thinking and pragmatism. By carefully mapping out how her private wealth would be used or invested, she underscored her desire to keep the monarchy financially stable and culturally relevant. Through smart choices and a lifetime of discreet accumulation, she left behind not just a famously regal public image, but also a testament to her quiet but formidable financial sensibilities. Family tensions and power dynamics. From the moment Queen Elizabeth II's will was read, old wounds and hidden resentments within the royal family seemed to bubble to the surface. While outsiders have always speculated about the private dramas of life behind palace walls, the opening of her final testament put those assumptions into sharper focus. Some family members discovered they had gained more than expected, while others saw the Queen's decisions as a direct slight. These differences sparked fresh discussions about loyalty, duty, and who truly holds influence in an institution as old as Britain's monarchy. One of the biggest points of friction came from the perceived reaffirmation of Prince William's standing. By choosing him as the person to unveil her will, the Queen sent a strong message about his growing power. Although King Charles III, as the reigning monarch, holds the crown, it was William who stood at the center of this pivotal moment. That subtle shift in perceived authority did not go unnoticed by other members of the family. Some openly wondered if Charles felt overshadowed, while others speculated that the Queen's choice was meant to show a clear line of succession without compromising the king's status. Meanwhile, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's distance from royal duties was reflected in the will's allocations. Their relatively limited share highlighted the Queen's emphasis on members who remained closely tied to the monarchy's core responsibilities. Although such a decision may have been practical from the Queen's point of view, it inevitably deepened already existing tensions. Rumors circulated that this was a form of quiet disapproval, while supporters of the Sussexes felt it was simply an acknowledgement of their changed roles. Additionally, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, saw a significant boost in her position by receiving heirlooms closely linked to the beloved late Princess Diana. This bolstered her standing as the mother of a future king, but also reminded everyone of the deep emotional ties that still shape the family's power structure. As for younger royals like Princess Charlotte, the unexpected gifts she received signaled an intentional plan to involve a newer generation in preserving the monarchy's traditions. In the end, while the Queen's will distributed more than just wealth, it also cast a fresh spotlight on the complex web of affections, loyalties, and rivalry that shapes the royal family. Each allocation, and the emotions it stirred, revealed a centuries-old institution balancing unity with personal ambitions, all set against an ever-watchful global gaze. Modernization of the monarchy. For an institution that traces its history back over 1,000 years, the British monarchy is no stranger to calls for reform and renewal. Even so, Queen Elizabeth II's final testament showed a surprisingly forward-thinking approach to modernization. Far from being a simple rundown of jewels and properties, it read like a strategic plan meant to steer the royal family into an era defined by social media, global audiences, and ever-shifting public expectations. Central to this modernization was the Queen's bold decision to make Prince William the key figure in unveiling her will. Although King Charles III currently sits on the throne, the lasting image of William reading the Queen's final wishes conveyed a fresh, younger face at the forefront of royal affairs. William's calm demeanor and reputation for connecting with people from all walks of life highlighted a more down-to-earth style that many argue the monarchy now needs. By choosing him for such a pivotal role, the Queen underscored her belief that longevity hinges on the willingness to adapt. In the will itself, the Queen sent signals of inclusivity and a break from strict tradition. Balmoral, for instance, was not left to a single heir, but shared among multiple family members. That choice showed an intent to bring people together, a nod to the changing dynamics of the royal family and the broader public's desire for a more relatable institution. Meanwhile, by allocating select heirlooms to Princess Charlotte and other young royals, the Queen broadened the circle of significance beyond just the direct line of succession. Such steps positioned the monarchy as a family-based system that can evolve rather than remain locked in past conventions. Legacy of Leadership and Vision Queen. Elizabeth II's reign was marked by stability, grace, and an uncanny ability to adapt behind the scenes. This spirit endured in her final act, where her will became more than a record of who received what. Instead, it stood as a testament to her leadership style, steady but quietly transformative, and revealed her hopes for the monarchy's role in an evolving world. By deliberately shaping the future through her last formal instructions, she displayed the same dedication to unity, public service, and duty that sustained her time on the throne. At the heart of this legacy is the importance she placed on continuity. Throughout her 70-year reign, the Queen was recognized for guiding the royal family through crises both public and private, from global shifts to personal family dramas. In her will, she embraced that same measured approach. She knew that leadership could not depend on tradition alone. The modern monarchy also needed relatable figures, strong family bonds, and a distinct awareness of shifting public sentiment. Passing some of her most treasured heirlooms to the younger generation symbolized her faith in their ability to uphold royal values while engaging the world on fresh terms. Yet her vision was not without bold decisions. The appointment of Prince William to announce her will highlighted her forward-looking approach and willingness to challenge expectations. Rather than defaulting to King Charles III, she chose a figure that, in many people's eyes, better represents the monarchy's future. It was a symbolic gesture that balanced respect for Charles's reign with the forecast of William's rising public role. In addition, her allocations signaled that the monarchy thrives on loyalty and commitment. Whether it was rewarding Catherine with pieces that linked her to Princess Diana or bypassing the more distant members, she emphasized the monarchy's work-driven ethos over mere birthright. This was a continuation of her unspoken rule. Those who contribute to the crown's public mission earn a bigger share in its symbolic responsibilities. Through these decisions, Queen Elizabeth II left a final mark as a leader who respected the past, but never shied away from guiding her family and the institution into the future. Her will was not just about jewels or estates. It was an enduring statement of how a centuries-old monarchy can remain relevant under steadfast but nimble leadership. Even after her passing, her deep sense of responsibility and vision lives on, offering a roadmap for future generations to follow.